Military recruitment is facing severe lows in recent years, a crisis that congressional candidate Kate Monroe, veteran and CEO of vetcom.us, believes she can fix. Here to tell us all about it is Kate herself. Good morning, Kate.
Good morning.
Good to see you again.
Yes, good to see you.
The problem is low levels of recruitment,
Yes.
right? Talk to us about that.
Yeah, it's, we spoke about it previously, but nothing has happened since the last time that we spoke about it. In fact, it's going even the worst direction. We talk about military recruiting crisis, but we have a crisis everywhere. It's a 5-alarm fire in this nation.
Right.
Recruiting crisis, border crisis, homeless crisis. Crisis would make you think that we're not complicit in it. I started looking even deeper into this problem. We're complicit in how we got here to this recruiting crisis. I mean, we let all the services go completely woke except for the Marine Corps. We're now trying to lower our standards. We are so complicit in why we are such a turnoff to this next generation. I mean, I remember when I went in, I felt like there was something really worth fighting for. Not that the country isn't worth fighting for, but certainly we've gone far and away from any America first, for any flag waving. The spirit that makes people go into the military just doesn't exist right now. And that's something that we definitely have to fix, because we're well past crisis. We're starting wars with country by backing other countries. And we quite frankly don't have the military might right now to go and contend with that war. So we need to maybe take a better look at what we're doing.
And you and I, we can remember post 9/11, back then, 22 years ago now,
Yes.
when after 9/11, you couldn't buy an American flag because they weren't available. The Congress was all together singing on the steps of the Capitol. People were flocking to recruiting centers, but everything has flipped. And now it's even gotten to a point where they're lowering their standards to get in.
Yeah, I mean, if anything that you need to uphold, it would be the standard of your recruitment for your service. And it's funny, I just talked to a couple of recruiters this last week, Marine Corps recruiters, and they said one of the reasons we're not having a problem isn't just because we upheld our standard and made it maybe even more difficult. The people that would go into these other services that have now turned woke, there's such a turnoff. We're getting kids that would have gone in the Air Force are coming into the Marine Corps, from the Army, from the Navy, from the Coast Guard. They're saying, we don't want any of that. This isn't what we're signing up for. We want to go into a service that's going to uphold its standards. So I think lowering the standards is the wrong answer. I mean, how are you going to go meet a battlefield with an unready team? Now, I would say there's one standard we do need to work on, and I think everyone in recruiting agrees with it, because let's say that in high school, you took a little hit of your friend's weed. If you say that, you can't get in. Mm-hmm. And we're in an environment, especially here in California, where it's legalized. Mm-hmm. So even if you've done it legally, they're going to say no to you. Well, this next generation, that's more than half of them are going to get automatically disqualified. Now, I'm not saying we let you smoke weed when you're in the service, but if you have smoked weed one time in your life and you can't now go serve your country, that's one huge fix that would see a huge uptick in recruitment, I think.
How did the Marine Corps dodge the woke bullet, so to speak? I mean, you got other branches of the military that ended up going woke, but the Marines, they maintain their standard. Is it the brass, or how did it happen?
I mean, I do think part of it is the brass, but the whole ideology of the Marine Corps is completely different than all the other services. I think I might have said this before, but a Marine won't ever say, I served in the military. They'll say, I'm a Marine.
Right.
And there's something about their whole branding that draws people to it. It's like the bat signal. People just want to be there. Plus, I think the Marines are first to fight. And we know that we have to be battle ready, and we just cannot take everyone. It's the most selective service. If you ask a lot of people in other services why they joined, some people will tell you, well, I tried to get in the Marine Corps and they wouldn't take me.
Right.
And so that's good. You need to uphold that standard. But I think that they just made a conscious effort to maintain that esprit de corps, unlike some of the other services.
Do you think the other branches of the services will follow the lead of the Marines and not go so woke, or maybe try to come back, reel it in?
I think that they're going to have to. I don't know that it would be their first choice, because clearly they're enjoying this new wokeism. But I think when they miss another quarter of recruiting, they're not really going to have a choice. They're going to be forced to do it. And I would challenge all of them, all of you recruiters, all of the people in charge of the recruiting command, you guys need to get together right now, like yesterday, and figure this out. Because I think, I just talked to Admiral Lex Walker, who's in charge of naval recruiting, and he said it's well past the crisis state. And he thinks that, what I mentioned with changing how we look at weed use before you go in, but also I crafted the framework of the Veteran Entrepreneur Act. Another big thing going on with kids, they don't want to go to college. It's not a big draw anymore.
Right.
And maybe they do, but they think it's free now. So why am I going to go serve my country to get college? But if they could start a business, that would be a big deal.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. A Marine.
Yes.
Thank you for your service. Candidate for the 49th district.
Yes.
How's the campaign going?
I feel like the campaign is going really good. I mean, I think I'm the standout head and shoulders above the rest. One, we're in a Marine town. We're in a Marine Navy town. We have the largest Marine Corps base, Camp Pendleton, right in the middle. I mean, I've become somewhat of a subject matter expert on some things. So I think that I just have a bigger foothold here in the 49th. I also think, I would be the first female Marine ever in Congress or the Senate. I would be the first woman to ever sit in that seat in Congress. There's a lot of firsts. So I feel like I'm way out ahead, and it's my race to win at this point.
Well, as the old saying goes, if you need something done, you call the Marines.
Call the Marines. Here I am.
All right. Kate Monroe, good to see you.
Thank
Kate.
you so
Thanks
much.
for the update.